Today's NFL Mailbag is presented by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/chat. 20% off and free shipping on some of the best male grooming products out there. I absolutely love the Perfect Package, the Lawnmower 3.0. Heck, even if you got some crazy hair growing out of your ears or in your nose, try the Weed Whacker. They're all great products. Manscaped.com/chat. 20% off and free shipping. First question coming in here is from Jack. What up, Jack? What is the best option for 49ers at quarterback? Aaron Rodgers trade.
Yeah, I think you nailed it there. I don't think it's likely. I still think the Packers keep him, but you call. You definitely call.
See, the other reason, though, I think it's Aaron Rodgers instead of Deshaun Watson, because you can trade for Rodgers and give up, I think, far less than what it would actually take to go out and get Watson.
I don't know about far less, but less.
See, I think it's less.
I like Rodgers in San Francisco. That'd be fun.
All right, Travis, you're next up here on the show. Three-way, always down for that. Trade Stafford to 49ers, Jimmy G to the Patriots. The Lions get the 49ers first-round pick and the Patriots first-round pick. What are your thoughts?
Stafford to the 49ers, okay. Got that part. Jimmy G to the Patriots. Lions get the 49ers first and the Patriots first. I don't think Stafford and Jimmy G are equal. I think that's the problem there. I think Jimmy G is more of a second.
Yeah, I'm not giving up a first-round pick.
Like if I'm San Francisco, if I can get a second and maybe like a day 3 pick for Jimmy G, if I know I got one of these other quarterbacks, I'm probably taking that. So I think Stafford has a little bit more trade value than Jimmy Garoppolo because he's not that much older than Jimmy G. Jimmy G's 29.
But I actually also think that the Patriots are going to be smart, realize that the 49ers might not want Jimmy G. They could end up cutting him perhaps after a trade, and then you see Bill Belichick just sleep.
Someone will trade for Jimmy G. Someone will trade for him.
We'll see.
I think they will.
The Soup Gang. Who do the Falcons draft?
I think they might go quarterback. I think they should, honestly.
Mac Jones?
Well, no, they're picking number 4, right? If you can get Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, get them.
I was thinking like Mac Jones, second round.
I think Jones is going round 1. I think they're going to go quarterback at 4. If not, defense. Something on defense. Get another edge rusher, get a piece in that secondary. They can certainly build on that side as well.
If you guys could, please shout out your favorite NFL team. Show them some love here. We do a lot of different NFL shows here at Chat Sports, and obviously we all have our favorite teams, but we also had some teams maybe when you were growing up as well. Go down in the comments section right now. Shout out your favorite team, and if you want to ask questions about them, use hashtag NFL, or you can super chat, and we'll answer them. What up, Chris? Is Vic Fangio on the hot seat entering 2021? It's
an interesting question for the Broncos head coach because I know there was some chatter that maybe they should move on after this past year. I think they had a lot.
Vic Fangio.
I like Fangio. They had a lot of injuries, and Sherlock hasn't been that great, so I don't know how much it's actually on Fangio. These are some names, Mitch, I think that could be on the hot seat entering this season. Fangio's one of them. Matt Nagy is certainly on the hot seat in Chicago.
He's probably the hottest.
Mike McCarthy could be if they struggle early on in the season. Wasn't a good first year. Zach Taylor for the Bengals, they've got to improve certainly in his third season. Hopefully Joe Burrow can get healthy and stay healthy there.
The reason why his seat's super hot, if the Bengals struggle, Joe Brady, head coach of the Bengals. It's just lock it in.
It's meant to be.
For those of you who don't know, Joe Brady, he was the offensive coordinator for Joe Burrow at LSU.
Yep.
All right, so which NFL coach gets fired first next season? Okay.
That's a good question.
I like this one. So, out of the names that you just showed us, I'm actually going to throw out a name like Zach Taylor because I think that already.
They start like 0-3.
If Joe Brady was straight up like, I'll take that job, they're like, okay. Yeah.
Okay. If you start 0-2, Zach, you're gone or something.
You lose the first game, you're done. That would be a bit of a stretch.
That's like when the Lakers, was it the Lakers or when he went back to the Cavs, fired Mike Brown after literally 5 games? They're like, yeah, we're done.
I don't.
0-5. That'd be like losing week 1 and getting fired.
Somebody said Adam Gase again. I think it's actually between Nagy and I think it's between a guy like Zach Taylor. Maybe if the Cowboys start out like 0-7 or some crazy
Jerry won't
shit
fire
like that.
him mid-season. I don't think so.
If they start out 0-7, I would hope.
Maybe. We'll see. Let us know what you guys think.
I don't think it's going to happen, but yeah, let us know. Next head coach, or I guess the first head coach that gets fired. Manscaped.com/chat. I'm going to say it again so you remember it. Manscaped.com/chat is the best place where you can get the best male grooming products on the internet. You want the Lawnmower 3.0 to help shave your downstairs? Seriously, it works really well. 20% off and free shipping is the offer that we're showing you here. If you want your wife to say thank you for your balls to say thank you, does that make sense? Kind of, not really.
It all works together.
Manscaped.com/chat. the most comfortable boxers on the market, an awesome traveling case if you plan on going anywhere.
Yep.
The ball deodorant, Harrison, I mean, I'm not kidding you. As much as I love the Lawnmower 3.0, the ball deodorant is the one I probably use more because you sit up here and you talk for an hour. Seriously, go home, talk to yourself for an hour. You sweat in places that you didn't even know you had. It's, I feel like I'm Gainesville.
Oh, no.
It's real swampy.
It's bad.
So ball toner, ball deodorant, you can get it with the perfect package, and it's called the perfect package because your package will look perfect. Manscaped.com/chat, 20% off, free shipping. We're going to put the link in the comments, and it will be in the description. So if your balls aren't looking perfect by the next 2 to 3 weeks, that's on you. It's not on me. And if you want to put them on her, go to Manscaped. Our super chat from Jaden Henderson. Should I be worried about the Colts wide receiver situation?
Worried, no.
I think a
somewhat
little bit.
Concerned, sure.
I wouldn't want T.Y. Hilton back. I think we've seen T.Y. Hilton is over. He's over there.
Over the hill.
I just couldn't think of the word.
You're welcome. I'll be here all day.
But back-to-back seasons really struggled. I mean, about, 500 receiving yards this past year, 700. I mean, it's just
Rivers not a great match with him because he's not a deep ball thrower, obviously.
But Hilton hasn't been healthy.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you can get him back at a reasonable price and then go get another weapon, I think I would consider that. I mean, a guy like Kenny Golladay or Allen Robinson, if they're available, go get them. Go get one of those guys, get a quarterback, boom, your offense is set. So a little bit concerned, but don't panic. There's a lot of guys out there.
Blood Wolf.
Wow.
What would the Niner have to trade to get Stafford, and should they get Kenny Golladay for a big-time weapon?
I think a first and probably a second or a third for Stafford. I think they're picking high enough. I don't think they'd have to do 2 firsts. So I think they could get him for a first and a second. To get Kenny Golladay, they don't have a ton of money, the 49ers. That's the thing. So I don't know if you can trade. I mean, I guess it would just be swapping out contracts, essentially, if you got rid of Garoppolo and brought in Stafford.
I don't like being this guy, but the one reason why I would avoid Kenny Golladay if I was the 49ers, out of all the top free agent receivers, the one that has probably the biggest asterisk in terms of injury, it is Kenny Golladay.
Yeah.
For the 49ers this past year, y'all couldn't stay healthy, especially at the wide receiver position.
I think Blood's idea is to team up Stafford and Golladay, who know each other, in a win-now situation. But it depends on price with Golladay.
Right.
1-year deal maybe? Like, prove-it type deal?
If you give me a 1-year prove-it deal for like $15, $16 million for Kenny Golladay, the receiver that led the NFL in touchdowns in 2019, yeah, I would do it. Verano, what up? Could the Cowboys sign a veteran quarterback like Verrett or someone else and trade down for a Wosu Koromora linebacker from Notre Dame?
I like the idea of Verrett. I think Richard Sherman might be more likely for Dallas at this point. Verrett had a good year for San Francisco. He's had a lot of injuries in his career, though, but was able to stay healthy this year. They got to get corners. They got to get safeties. That secondary is busted. Like, you got to add 2 to 3 legitimate pieces back there. So, yeah, I don't know if it'll be those guys, but you got to get somebody on the back end.
Trade down Wosu Koromora. I like him. I don't know if he's worth a top 10 pick, but definitely one of the top guys that I like. Akash, what up, my man? Who do you think is the better prospect, Nick Bolton or Zaven Collins? I'm on the Zaven Collins train. Anytime you can win Best Defensive Player at a school like Tulsa, it is impressive. But I did watch a lot more tape on Bolton, linebacker from Missouri. He might actually have higher upside than Zaven.
He wants to rip people's head off. Like, he flies around. So I don't think you can go wrong. I think they're both solid players. Bolton, you could probably get a little bit later, I would say.
Bolton's built more to be the middle linebacker. Zaven Collins reminds me of a more, we'll say, modern-day linebacker, if you will. So both really, really good picks. I think the real question is who goes number 2, because I do think Micah Parsons is the number 1.
I agree.
Jonathan Simmons, you're next up here. Could the Dolphins draft, speaking of Micah Parsons, and maybe trade down a few spots from 3? I actually think for Miami, the smartest thing for them to do actually would be trade down from 3. I mean, as much as I like Devonta Smith, Jamar Chase, Penei Sewell, I think that
someone will trade up for that pick with this quarterback class.
And if you're Miami, just keep on stacking up some of those picks. The more and more tape I watch on Parsons, the more and more I hope that they end up using him kind of the way like the Bears and the Raiders used Khalil Mack, where make him more of an edge rusher instead of just a true middle linebacker. I think he'll have a lot more value there. Parsons got some off-the-field stuff, especially when he was first coming into, we'll say, college, and had some hazing issues as well. But he's absolutely incredible. So who's your favorite NFL draft prospect this year? I will say this. I grew up watching a lot of Penn State football. Parsons was actually one of my favorite prospects coming into it. now the more and more tape I watch, I'm starting to fall more and more in love with Owusu Koromora.
I'm in love with Kyle Pitts. I think he's an incredible
I'll tell you
talent.
what, you could actually give me the argument he might be the best wide receiver in this draft.
It's tough to argue. That guy is an
He's
absolute
incredible.
monster. I think Kyle Trask is a solid quarterback. I think Pitts made him look incredible. I think he's that good. He's a freak athlete.
So if y'all love the NFL, seriously, subscribe to Chat Sports for free videos every single day. We're getting ready to ramp up our trade discussions because I don't know if you've known this. Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, what was the other quarterback? Deshaun Watson.
Jimmy G, Deshaun Watson.
There's going to be a lot of trades, so make sure you guys subscribe. If you want more free agency talk, we got you covered. NFL draft talk, we got you covered. If you find yourself looking for videos in January, February, March, the rest of the offseason, I promise you won't find another channel like Chat Sports, so make sure you guys subscribe. All right, Christopher botches Rousseau, boom or bust. I'll say boom.
I mean, I think he's a boom or bust prospect, so yes.
Peter Geitman, do the Packers trade for Sutton or another wide receiver or sign somebody like Corey Davis or Juju? If you're looking for a receiver with the amount of talent that there is out there on the market, I don't personally see why you would trade.
First of all, Sutton's not going anywhere. Let's make that clear. He's staying in Denver.
Okay,
that's number one. This receiver free agency pool is loaded.
Good.
I mean, even Juju finished strong this year. I know he had a weird last couple of years in Pittsburgh. I still think he's a good player. Corey Davis had a good year as a number 2 receiver in Tennessee. I mean, there's guys out there to get. That's why for the Colts guy who asked, there's players you can sign. So,
sure.
But Cortland Sutton, he's staying in Denver.
All right, this next one's coming in from Junior Estrada. Can the Raiders defense make better next season?
Make better plays, better.
I sure hope so. So the Raiders defense was the worst in franchise history, so you can really only go up. They got some money to be able to spend, at least I think they will. Currently right now, minus $17 million in cap space, but if you want to check out a cool video I put on the Raiders channel, 8 salary cap cuts that they could make to save a whole lot of money, go check it out. Cody Douglas, Super Chat, what up, my dude? Do you guys think Mac Jones looked as good, if not better than Tua in Alabama's offense?
Yes. I mean,
he did.
And you could say, oh, but the weapons. Tua had all 4.
I was going to say, I think Tua might have had better weapons. I mean,
yeah,
Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, Devonta Smith, Jaylen Waddle.
I mean,
I'm not
going to sit here and say I'm for sure confident Mac Jones will be a better pro, but I think he can be a good pro. Like I think at this point, I bet some NFL execs behind closed doors would say, I'd rather take my chances on Mac Jones. I do think that opinion is starting to formulate out there. I really do.
Honcho's 300. All right, if the Colts trade up in the draft, who do they select? So this is a super chat. So where are the Colts selecting right now? I believe 21?
22, somewhere in that range, 21, 22.
I mean, if they trade up?
The only way I see them trading up for 2 things. 1, they haven't brought in a quarterback for whatever reason.
Yeah.
2, receiver. You need a receiver for whoever your quarterback's going to be. So could you trade up and get a guy like Jaylen Waddle? He's an ideal T.Y. Hilton replacement, peak T.Y. replacement, speed, special teams. That would be interesting for whoever's the quarterback.
I would be shocked if the Colts traded up, just because they have a roster where you don't really need to trade up. And a lot of times, I don't know, if you're going to trade up, you trade up for a quarterback. If Indy can't bring in one of these top guys, whether via trade or via free agency, that's on them. They have all the pieces. There's going to be
no reason not to. I fully expect them to get one of these quarterbacks.
All right, let's go back to my man Junior. Should Jameis Winston stay or get traded to another team?
Stay in New Orleans.
Yeah?
Yeah, compete with Taysom Hill for the starting job. See what happens.
All right, what up, Elijah Hopkins? Should the Giants draft Jaylen Waddle? Okay, from wide receiver, Alabama.
I wouldn't hate the pick. You need more weapons. If you're going to give Daniel Jones another year, give him as much weapons as possible. And if he doesn't work out, you get a quarterback the next year. So yeah, I think that'd be a good pick.
Super chat coming in from Travis Dolly. Should the Lions re-sign Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones Jr.?
I would pick one and let the other walk.
I mean,
you're entering a rebuild here. If you can get Golladay on a short-term deal, sweet. If not, maybe you tag and trade him. Who knows? I don't think both are back, though.
Yeah, I'd probably actually move on from both, save some money, continue to build for your future, and appreciate you guys' questions.